Hi friends, now I am going to explain about the OOPS concepts. What is OOPS? OOPS is nothing but a object oriented programming in Java. What is advantage of OOPS? OOPS generally using for code reusability. Code reusability means once you develop the code, you can reuse the code in some other place, anywhere. Means again, same code, it's not writing, again it's not repeating to write. That is the advantage of OOPS. Okay, there are 7 types of OOPS concepts. Those are abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, association, aggregation, composition. Okay. Then one more advantage of OOPS is OOPS concepts allow us to create a specific interactions between a Java objects. It's the OOPS concepts used to create the interaction between Java objects as well as for reusing the code, for reusability of the code, to avoid that duplicate code duplicate code writing again. That is the main advantage of OOPS. These are the types. These are 7 types. Okay. Then first one is I am explaining one by one with detail in detail. Please, before that one, I am as usual. My request: please subscribe my channel to get a more sessions, to get more updates on Java. Please subscribe. Thank you. Okay. Now I am going to explain these 7 concepts in detail one by one. Now first, starting with abstraction. See, abstraction. What is abstraction? Abstraction is nothing but it's hiding the internal details. It's hiding the internal implementation. It hides the internal implementation. That is called abstraction. Means what is abstraction? Means if there, for example, if you want to drive a car, you don't need to know about its internal working. See, while drive, if you want to drive the car, you should have only driving. You don't want to know how car is internally working. Means internally how car is working. That is called abstraction. Okay, it's visible to only steering car only. It's is visible to you. Means its internal working. It's hidden. It's not visible outside. That is called abstraction. If anybody asks, if interview questions, if you go for interview, they ask, interviewer ask as a what is abstraction, tell as a abstraction is nothing but a hiding a internal implementation. That is called abstraction. Give one exit, take one real time example. Car, you take that one. Okay, if you want to drive the car, you don't want to know about how car is internally working. That is called abstraction. Okay, here example is like I have given in diagram, abstraction in food. Okay, food is abstraction. Okay, food is abstraction. Okay, here food is abstraction. You want food, but how internally is you prepared, he doesn't know. We doesn't know. See, generally if you go ask to go restaurant, we order food, we won't ask how you are preparing the rice, how you are preparing the curries. You never ask. That is internal implementation. Just you order only food. This is an example of food. Okay, see here food is there. This is abstraction, internally hiding that one. Then food is implemented by, there is in food there are some items are there: burger, pizza, sandwich. Okay, then burger how we are implementing, he doesn't know. We don't want that one. Internal implementation. Pizza, we doesn't want. Just to order pizza. Sandwich, just to order sandwich. How it internally we are preparing, it's we doesn't know. It's a internal hiding. This is the example of abstraction. This is a diagram, explanation. I am explaining this one through code. See, Java code, how abstraction we can implement using the Java code. This is example. In class, food is there. Okay, food is a abstract class. When we are calling the class as abstract means if any one method in class we declare as a abstract, then we are calling that class as a abstract class. Here food as calling as abstract class. Why means there is a one abstract method is there. So that method we used the keyword as abstract. So if any one method is having a abstract method in class, that class you are calling as abstract method. Here now food is calling as abstract method because there is a one abstract method is there. Make food is a abstract method. Okay, this abstract class now we are extending by burger class. Okay, burger class is implementing providing the implementation for abstract method. Okay, but implementation we are hiding this one. Just if you order that one, we get the burger. But implementation it's hiding. Okay, implementation we are hiding. Like that pizza. Pizza also extend the order. Okay, make food. Make food means pizza also implement the make food abstract method. This is the implementation. Implementation we are hiring. When I order a food we are calling as a pizza. Just we get the pizza by calling the by calling the burger class. By calling the burger class, just we get the burger. If they order the pizza, just we get the pizza. Okay, we doesn't know the how we are making the burger, how we are making the pizza. We doesn't know that one. That is internal hiding, internal implementation hiding. That is called abstraction. Okay, this is the programmatically example about the abstraction. This is about the abstraction. Okay, next one is encapsulation. Encapsulation, what is encapsulation? Is nothing but encapsulation is nothing but it allows encapsulation allow us to protect the data stored in a class from a system-wide access. So what is mean this one? Encapsulation allow us to protect the data stored in a class from system-wide access. What does this mean? It will hide the data which are there in class from accessing outside of the class. Outside of the class. Assume you declared any data inside the class, means outside of the class cannot access the data which are declared in the class. That is called, that is the mean of this statement. That is the call also encapsulation. And in interviews, if anybody asks what is encapsulation, you tell as a hiding of the data inside a class by declaring the variables as a private and methods as a public. Okay, this is the definition. How to see if you declare any variable as a private, how can I access the data? By using the public setters and getters. Here, that is that one. You see that one. If you read that one, if safeguard the internal contents of the class like a real life capsules, you can implement the encapsulation in Java by keeping the fields. Fields are nothing but variables private and providing a public setter method on each of them. Okay, this is that one. I will explain this one how programmatically we'll implement encapsulation in detail. This is the definition of this one. See how we are implementing this one. These are the steps you follow that one. Restrict direct access to data members of the class. Fields are set to private, means fields are declaring as a private. Each field have its setter and getter methods. But getter method returns the field and setter method let us change the value of the field. These are the steps we have to follow to implement the encapsulation Java. I will explain this one programmatically. See, this is okay. This is the diagram. This is the diagram. Encapsulation how it looks like. High level diagram. Class can have a methods and private variables. Methods are public, variables are private. This is the encapsulation diagram. This is the programmatic program. I will explain it. Okay, in encapsulation example, public class student is a class. In this one, private is a variable string. Okay, each variable it's have a its setter and getter method. See, set name, get name is there. Okay, that is the data one. Here we are hiding the data by declaring the variable as a private. Once you declare the variable as a private. Outside of the class cannot access this one. It's available only student. But how can outside of the class can access means by using the setters and getters. You see get name and set name. How these are accessing, I will explain that one. For student class, we created one student object. Okay, s dot set name means we are setting the name for the private field. Okay, once you set that one, we are getting the name of that one. We are doing that one get that name. Okay, one more thing, you got na private string. Here, these are the steps. These are the steps. See, restricted direct access to outside the members. Fields are set to private. Fields are set to private means fields are set to, this is the fields are set to private. Okay. Then each field have a setter and getter method. Each field have a setter and getter method. This is the term. Each field setter. Each field means name have a get name and set name. Setter and getter. Public setter and getter name. Okay. Then you see next one. Getter methods. Each field has setter. Getter method return the field. Getter method return the field. Setter method let us change the value of the this one. You see this one programmatic. Setter method using for change the value of the field. This is that one. Getter method for returning the value or giving the value. Okay. This is about encapsulation. Okay. You got it? Then next one is polymorphism. Okay. Polymorphism. What is polymorphism generally? Polymorphism is nothing but one object can act in different forms. One object can act in different forms. That is called polymorphism. According to situation, that object will act. I will tell example like, okay. I will tell in detail. This is the general form. If anybody asks, if you go for interview, interviewer asks as a, what is polymorphism? Polymorphism, you tell as a, polymorphism is a mechanism in Java. It will act object as a different forms according to the requirement. You tell this separation. Okay. There are different kinds of polymorphisms. Those are overloading and overloading. There are two kinds of polymorphisms. One is overloading, another one is overriding. Okay. Method overloading happens. See, I mean overloading. Method overloading happens when variance methods within the same name are present in the class. Method overloading, you remember blindly. Same name, method name should be same name. It should have a same name and different parameters and return types. Then that is within a class. Within a class means that is overloading. And when they are called, they are differentiated by numbers. These are the overloading. Their explanation. Method overriding. Then overloading is done. Now method overriding occurs when the child class override a method of its parent. When method overriding means occurs when child class override a method of its parent. In method overriding, there are two classes. One is child class, another one is parent class. Okay. Here, parent class, whatever method is declared in parent class will be overridden by child class. That is method overriding. Okay, these are how we are implementing that polymorphism. Okay, this is overall about polymorphism, high level definition. Then how many types are polymorphisms are there? There are two types are there: method overloading, method and method overriding. What is overloading? What is overriding? This is explanation high level. I will explain in detail with diagrams and programs. This one I am explaining next one. See, there are two types of polymorphism. Okay, method override loading we are calling as a compile time polymorphism or static or early binding also we are calling. One more is overriding. Overriding we are calling as a runtime polymorphism or dynamic or late binding. Okay, another name for overloading is compile time polymorphism or static or early binding. Another name for overriding is runtime polymorphism or dynamic or late binding. These two are. Real-time example, I will explain that one. Okay, here is the boy is there. Here is the boy. Okay, boy. This boy we are calling as a object. Okay, if boy went to shopping mall, generally, if any customer comes in a shop, that shop owner, how he will treat? He will treat as a customer. He is a customer. Now, object, he went to shopping mall and he will act as a customer. Okay. That same customer, after finishing the shopping, he went to bus. Then bus conductor will treat this object, this boy as a passenger. So he went for shopping mall. Then he act as a customer. Now next he went for bus. Now he's acting as a he behaving as a passenger. After that one he went to school. Okay. Then same object will act as a student. Then after finishing up school he went to home. Then he will act as a son. So object is same. That boy is same. Is not changed. According to place, according to situation where he went, there he will act according to situation, according to requirement, according to circumstances. Same object can act in different forms. Here different forms. Form is customer is a one form, one form. Then passenger is a one form, student is a one form, son is a one form. These are different characters. If you tell generally character, okay, customer character, passenger character, student character, son, but actor is same. This is called polymorphism. Okay. See, this is overriding concept. How will work internally? This is over the diagram. See here, BC. How will work programmatically? Java. How that polymorphism work programmatically? How can you implement polymorphism programmatically? This is that one. This is the overriding concept. That is overriding concept or runtime polymorphism or late binding. We can call as a overriding or runtime polymorphism, or see, this is that one, runtime polymorphism, dynamic or late binding, or overriding concept. See, here, this is the BC is a parent class. In the parent class, there is a one method is there that is called sum. Here, sum is what is doing? It's adding a three integers, a comma b comma c. Okay. Only three integers he adding. When this BC class extended by DC1 class, DC1 is a child class, BC is a parent class. Okay. Here same sum object, here same sum method, it's adding a float values. So in parent class, it's adding integer values. In child class, same sum method, it's adding a floating values. When see this one, DC2 is a child class, it's extended by parent. Here, the same sum class, it's adding a characters. C1, C2, C3 are characters. These are character. Character means if you declare anyone in single quote, that's one as a characters. So A is declared in single quote, B is declared in single quote, that is characters. Now, okay, here I told as I told, same object, according to requirement, according to situation, it's acting differently. In child class, in parent class, it's summing, it's adding a integer values. In DC1 child class, it's summing a float values. In DC2 child class, it's summing a character values. See, according to requirement, according to situation, according to circumstances, same object, yet same method, it's doing a different operations. That is called, that is overriding or date binding or runtime call. Dynamically, runtime, according to requirement, runtime, it's do the operations. Okay. This is the dynamic polymorphism or overriding. Here overriding means this parent class sum, overriding in child class DC1. Same parent class sum, BC class sum method, it's overriding in declaring overriding in DC2 child class. Okay, this is about the dynamic polymorphism. Okay, see, this is example of polymorphism in Java. See, programmatically, class person is a parent class. It's have a private variable, private A, and default work method return type is void. Then another class is there, class employee. It's extends person. Why you have to use extends? If you want to extend a parent class, we have to use the extends keyword. Now, once you extend that one, whatever there in parent, except private, which are declared under the private, it won't be available in child class. Okay. Here, once you extend that one, parent, whatever parents variables and methods are there, other than private, all will be available in child. Now, child having a parent walk as well as child walk. But now here we are overriding. Here we are overriding that one. See here overriding whatever there in parent person is a parent class. In that one same method again we are writing means here we are overriding. Here overriding and implementation is different. See here person P public. Why you have to use public static void main? Public static void main we have to use for executing the program. Okay. Somebody might ask why want to use only public static void main only? This is the entry point to execute the program. Okay, after using the public static void main, then person P equal to new employee. Person is a spelled parent class, P is a parent class reference variable. New operator, why you have to use? If you want to create a object for any class, we have to use the new operator. Employee is a child class. Now we are creating an object for employee class and assigning to child class reference variable. Then we are calling a p.walk. Now this time child class object will be called. If you want to call parent class walk method, then we have to do like this. We have to create object for parent class only. Okay. This is the polymorphism. Now next one is inheritance. Inheritance. What is inheritance? Getting the properties of parent class to child class. Getting the parents properties of parent class to child class, that is called inheritance. Simply, this is the simple definitions. See, if you take a real-time example, okay. Now there are our fathers, grandfathers are there, our fathers are there. Okay, grandfather giving property to our father, then our father giving property to ours. This is the inheritance. Inheritance means this is the called inheritance. Same concept we can apply in Java also. Okay. See, inheritance in Java, class A class, child class can extend another class, parent class. Okay, by inheriting its feature. Child class can extend a parent class and can get the parent class properties to child class. Okay, there are a multiple inheritance. There are number of inheritance are there. Okay, those are single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, hybrid inheritance. There are four types of inheritance are there. I am explaining one by one in detail. This is a inheritance diagram. Here animal is a parent class and class dog extends a animal. Here animal is a parent, dog is a child class. Like that, one dog class is there. Like that, there could be a cat class, there could be elephant class, there could be a fish class, there could be a parrot class. Like this, animal is super class. Rest of the classes are child classes. All are extended by animals. Okay. See here, diagrammatically, The left side is mom, right side is son. Here mom is a parent class. Here right side boy is a child class. Okay. Whatever mom having the child son, I am base class means mom is a child class, son is a derived class. This is child class. Okay. See whatever mom, this is the mom, this is the child. Okay. This is the inheritance. See inheritance diagrammatically, how many types of inheritance? Singleton in single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hybrid inheritance, and hierarchical inheritance. Those are four types of inheritance. I will explain each and every one. What is the each and every one? Single inheritance. In single inheritance, there is a parent and child, one parent and one child. You see here, class A, class B. Okay, class A, class B means only one parent, one child. Okay. Class A is your parent class, class B is your child class, which inherit the properties and behavior of the properties. Here, class A, class B. See here, denoting at the arrow mark also, B to add. Here you see the two arrow marks. Now here means B is inheriting from A. A is a parent class, B is a child class. Okay. See here programmatically how singleton inheritance can be explained, can be implemented. Here class animal is there, method eat is there. In class A, class animal. Animal is a parent class. In that parent class, method eat is there. Like that, class dog. Dog is a child class. It extends animal. If you want to extend parent class programmatically, we have to use extends keyword. Extends is a predefined keyword. If you want to extend a parent class, we have to use extends is a keyword in Java. Then only we can inherit parent class properties. Property is nothing but a variables, methods which are declared in parent class. Here method means it is a method. You can declare a variables also into a. These are all can be these are all variables method can be inherited child class. Now see once you extend animal, now child class have a int a also will be available in a child class, dog is child class, and eat method also is available in child class, as well as now bark. Bark is a it's implemented in child class. Child class is here is dog. Dog class. Dog is nothing but a child class. Dog class is nothing but a child class. Okay. Now it's inherited means now child class having a int a variable also it's having, eat method also having, and bark also having child class. These are all having. See, dog d equal to new d. For dog object we created a object. Now d dot bark. D dot bark means so it's accessing dog class. It's calling dog class. Dog class is nothing but a child class bark method. Like that, d dot eat. Eat is implemented in child class, not in parent class. So why child object? How child object can access a parent class method? Because of we extended, we inherited. Inherited means now child is having a parent properties also. So that's why child can have a right to access child. Now child have a right to get the properties of parent. So that's why d dot it. Now child can have a right to call parent class it method. Okay, this is the singleton inheritance. Next one is next level of inheritance is multi-level inheritance. Here, multi-level inheritance, what is multi-level inheritance means? If there are a multiple levels of inheritance, see there are 3 levels of inheritance. Then more than 2 levels of inheritance, then we are calling as a multi-level inheritance. See, now B is inheriting A, then C is inheriting B. Means there are 2 levels of inheritance, more than one level of 2 levels of inheritance. One, 2, 3. There are more than three classes. 2 classes, 3 classes. Total is 3 classes. Then we are calling a multi-level inheritance. Okay. Then see, if we see that one, when class is derived from class, which is also derived from another class. That is a class having a more than one parent class, but at different classes, more than one classes at different classes. See here, class C having a more than one parent. B is also parent, A also parent at different levels. This is super level. Okay. This is next to super level. This C is having a two parent level, two parents at different levels. Means this is grandfather, this is father, this is child. So this multiple levels. That's what we are calling as a multi-level inheritance. Okay. See here programmatically, animal is a super means super parent class. It's like a grandfather. Real time is grandfather. It's having a eat method. Dog is a next to next to parent, next to animal. Dog is extended by animal. It's like a father. Dog is a real time example is father. Okay. Then now father having its own property as well as grandfather property. Okay. Then puppy is a child. Now puppy is extending a dog. Means dog here gender in real time what you are calling it's a father. Father having a father property as well as grandfather property. What are father property, grandfather property? Grandfather property is eat method. Father property is work method. But so now puppy child having a father property as well as child property. Here father and child property means eat and bark. Now child having a its own property that is weep. Okay, that is multi-level inheritance. It's inheriting from multiple levels. Okay, these are the programmatically explanation about multi-level inheritance. See, for creating a object for a child and means child class now have access for parent, super parent and parent. Now access for super parent and parent. Super parent here is animal. Parent is dog. Now puppy is having access for all parent and super parent. Bark and eat. This is the multi-level implementation in Java. So another one is third one is hierarchical inheritance. When a class has a more than one child class, or in other words, more than one child classes have the same parent class, then such kind of inheritance is known as a hierarchical inheritance. See, hierarchical, what does this mean by when class have a more than one child? See, class have a more than one child. Class B, class C, class D. Three classes have. Or when more than one child have a same parent. See, more than one child. These more than one child having a same parent. Class B, class D, class D have a same parent. Then we are calling this one as a hierarchical inheritance. Here hierarchical inheritance means when parent class have a more than one child. Where parent class is class A have a more than one child. More than one child means class B is the one child, class C is the one child, class D is the one child. So parent have a more than one child. No, now we are calling as a we are calling this kind of inheritance as a hierarchical inheritance. Okay. See, this is the programming. How only one parent. Okay. Each parent, that parent is implemented by extended by all child classes. Animal is a parent, dog is a child class, cat is a child class. These two child classes are extended by animal parent class. This is the hierarchical inheritance. Okay. Then next, last one is hybrid inheritance. Hybrid inheritance is a combination of two or more types of inheritance. What is hybrid inheritance? Hybrid inheritance is a combination of two or more types of inheritances. See here, we can, if we example in, if we look in here in this diagram, you can see that there are two kinds of inheritances already we seen in earlier slides. Okay, those are, see if you see left side, class A is a parent class, class B, class D, class C. These are all multi-level inheritance. This combination, left side combination, we are calling as a multi-level inheritance. Okay. Like that right side combination, class A, class C, we are calling this one as a single inheritance. Yes, what is hybrid inheritance definition? Hybrid inheritance is a combination of two or more types of inheritance. See, there are two inheritances are there. One left side is multi-level inheritance, right side is single inheritance. So, if the any inheritance is having a combination of two inheritances, two types of inheritance, then we are calling that combination is calling as a hybrid inheritance. Okay, this is hybrid inheritance. These are all about inheritances. Okay, next we are going for association. Association is the one of the OOPS concept. See, beside the more pain principles of OOP, Java also work with the three further concepts: associations, aggregation, compositions. Already explained four main four principles of OOPS. Okay, along with these four, I am going to explain another three concepts of OOPS. Those are association, aggregation, components. Okay, what is association? First time I explain about association. Association simply means that act of establishing a relationship between two unrelated classes. There are two unrelated classes, or there are two unrelated objects. There are two unrelated. If you explain about, if you let me explain about it, there are two persons are there. Those two persons are, they doesn't know each other. They don't know who is that person, who is this person. But association, what is doing? Association. Association, what is doing? It establishes the relation between two persons. It provides the relation between two persons. That is called association. If it generally we are calling this one as an association. We are means some kind of association. In the real time also, some association we are forming. Water association, some group association, some kind of associations. This one, uh, some land associations, landowners associations, house owners associations. These are the associations. But house owners is one person bought the house. Okay. Then another, after some time another person bought the house. But they doesn't know each other. These are new persons. But association, once they form the association, they establish the relationship between those two persons. Establish relationship with, oh, this guy is my neighbor. This guy is my, that is the means neighbor relationship. That is calling as association. Association. This I will explain how you maintain how you implement association in Java. Okay. Two separate classes are associated through objects. Here, two separate classes means real time means two persons associated through some kind of relations. That is called association. I will explain this one. There could be any association, one to one. One person can contact to only one person. One person. One person may associate to multiple person. In association, there might be multiple person. Okay, one person can contact to one person. Otherwise, one person can contact to many persons. Many persons can contact to only one person. Many to many persons can contact to many. These kind of associations are there. See, in example like a state. State is a one class. Okay, state can have a number of cities. For example, take example like any state. If you take like Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh cities are nothing but a Vizag is a city. Vijay, Vijayawada is a city. Kurnool is a city. See, Andhra Pradesh state, it's having a number of cities. That is association. Okay. See here, real-time example. Example is nothing but a city is a class. Okay. In Java, we implemented. See, as I shown in earlier diagram, city is a state city association. City is a class. Okay. Then state is a another class. This is the state. These are the cities. Now in Java, we declare a city is a class. City have a some properties. City name. Okay. Then get city name, set city name. There are two methods. Then state is another class. Okay. State also have some properties. State name and list of cities. Here get state name, set state name, get cities, set cities. Okay. See here, it's trying to it's trying to association, it's trying to provide a relationship between state and cities. How it's providing? See, state in state class, list of cities are declared. See, like that, we are providing a programmatically association list of states. Now, state having a list of cities. State having a list of cities. Like that, we are providing a association programmatically in Java. Like that, we are providing a association. Okay. See how we are providing association. See here in here public static void main state object created for state one is name given like that city object created for city name given like that city2 object created for this one name given. See these two states added in one list. Okay. This list is assigning to state set state method. Now state having a two cities like that we are providing association between two classes state and city. Now state having a two cities. This is called association. Like that we are implementing the association. Next one is aggregation. Aggregation is a narrower kind of association. It occurs when there is a one-way relationship between the two classes. You associate it through their object. For example, every passenger has a car, but car doesn't necessarily have a passenger. Means has a relationship. In association, both are in association. Without state, city can exist. Without city, state can exist. If one is removed, if cities are removed, state exists. State still can exist. If state removed, city still exists. Okay, these two are not dependent. But here in association, difference is in association has a one way, has a one directional, has a relationship that is one directional. One directional means there are two classes are there. First class cannot exist without second class, but second class can exist without first class. That is when see here, passenger has a car, but car does not necessarily have a first. See, passenger is a first class, car is a second class. Second class. See, passenger has a car. Passenger has a car means, but car does not necessarily have a passenger. See, the car is there, then only passenger is there. See, okay, that is has a one direction. Without car, there is no passenger. Without car, there is no passenger. Without vehicle, assume there is no bus. How you can call a person as a passenger? No, their vehicle should be there. Then only we are calling a person as a passenger. If assume vehicle is there, there is no passenger, but still car is there. Car exists. Without passenger, car can survive. Car exists, but without car, passenger cannot exist. That is has a relationship that is one directional. That is different between aggregation and association. Aggregation has a relationship that is one directional. Association, it's only establish the relationship It doesn't have any relationship. It doesn't have any. It's having only is a relationship, not a has a relationship. What is different between is a relationship and has a relationship? I will explain that one. Okay, I will explain last that one. See here, this is a point. Only one class is depending on other. When one class means passenger is class, car is a class. Passenger is depending on car. That is only one class. But car does not depend on passenger. Okay, that is that one. See, this is the uh, aggregation example. See, employee has a address, but address doesn't have a employee. See here only without employee has a address, but address not having a employee. Without employee, address can be there. There could be address, but it's not necessary to be employees there. But employee should have address. Employee should have address. That is address. If there is no address, how employee can serve? Assume there is no address. There is no employee. But employee should have an address. See, that's what employee should have an address. If there is no address, no employee. Employee depending on address, but address is not depending on employee. That is a has a relation. Employee has an address, but address is not having a employee. There could be employees in address. There could be or could not be employees in that address. Okay, assume like a Bangalore. Bangalore is the address. Bangalore can have a employees, or we could not have a employees. But if the employee is staying in Bangalore, if employee is there, you should have address na in Bangalore. That is the aggregation. This is the programmatically explanation. Then next level is composition. Composition is nothing but it has a relationship bidirectional. Has a relationship means bidirectional. Take example like a car and engine. Without car, there is no engine. Without engine, there is no car. This is the has a relationship bidirectional. If there is no car, engine also not there. If the engine is, if engine there is no. If car not there is no engine. If there is no engine, that means no use of car. Means both having a has relationship, bidirectional. If one class is not exist, another class is also not exist. Like that. It means has a relationship bidirectional. That is called composition. See, this is has a relationship and is a relationship. Car has a engine. Car is a vehicle. Okay. Without car, vehicle can exist. But without engine, car cannot exist. Without car, engine cannot exist. But without car, vehicle exists. Without car, vehicle exists. Any vehicle. Instead of car, there could be another vehicle. Another means bus is there. Lorry is there. Car is a vehicle. Car has a engine. That is the difference between is and has. This is explanation about OOPS concepts. Please subscribe. Once again, requesting, please subscribe my channel to get a more updates on Java, to get a more videos on further topics. Thank you.